Okay, so quick tutorial on isotopes. So, isotopes are atoms of the same element, okay, so the number of protons don't change, that have a different number of neutrons in the nucleus. So the only thing that this really impacts is the mass number, okay? So this won't affect the atomic number, because if you look, the example we have here is hydrogen. So in this first sample, we've got 1 proton, okay? So the mass of this hydrogen is 1, and the atomic number is 1. Again, this bottom number is equal to the number of protons. If I'm looking at this version of hydrogen, this is known as an isotope of hydrogen because it has the same number of protons as the first one. The only thing that's different here is that top number, the mass number. And that's due to what's going on in the nucleus here. So as you can see, there's a proton and a neutron here now. Same thing over here. This is like ultra heavy hydrogen, where you've got 2 neutrons and 1 proton. Again, it's still the same element. The only difference here is the number of neutrons. Now, how isotopes are different from ions, remember, ions are about charge. So in ions, that's when the number of electrons is not equal to the number of protons. You still have the same element, it's just the electrons are different. In isotopes, it's different numbers of neutrons. Okay? So I'm going to show you an example that'll show up on the practice. It's not the exact example, but it's very similar to what you're going to be doing. So let me go to the next slide here, maybe. There we go. Okay, so what we're going to be calculating is called the average atomic mass. So this is the weighted average of all the isotopes of an element. Basically, if I were to take a sample of, let's say here on this slide, we've got sodium, right? If I had a sample of sodium, I would basically count all of the ones that are sodium-23, all of the ones that have a different mass, whether that's like sodium-22, 24, whatever I have, and I take those and I average them together, it will spit out this number. Now, we've used this number before when we were going from grams to moles or moles to grams. We called it the molar mass. It's also known as the average atomic mass. Now, side note, this is not the same as the mass number, okay? The mass number refers to just one atom of sodium. The average atomic mass is taking the weighted average of all the different isotopes of an element. So the average atomic mass is not the same thing as the mass number, okay? So if I ask for mass number, I'm looking for this number. If I ask for average atomic mass, that's when you take all the weights and average them together. I'm going to show you how to do that here in the next slide, okay? Okay, so here's an example, very similar to the practice you're going to get today. So here's the mass number. Okay, here's the atomic number. Notice 29 is the same in all of these because it's still the same element. Okay, now this is different than a problem that you might normally see, but it's still good practice. So the first thing we need to look at is how many isotopes are in this sample of copper. Well, I have copper 65. And I have copper 63. Change my color here. Okay, got copper 63. So overall, I have 2 isotopes overall. I've got 63 and 65. Okay, so first thing I want to do is I want to count how many copper, make that look more like a 3, how many copper 63s I have. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm looking at this second bullet point here to get the percentage. So overall, I have 7 in my sample here of the copper 63. I don't know where the red went, so we're just going to go with pink, I guess. Now for 65, I have 1, 2, 3 is what it's looking like. So to get the percentage here, I'm going to need to take the total number of coppers or I'm sorry, the number of copper 65s divided by the total number of coppers in my sample in general, which is 10. And then I'm going to multiply by 100. Why is that looking like that? Sorry, guys. And then same thing up top. So this should be about 30%. What is the deal? Okay. Then for my top one, same thing, divided by 10 times 100 equals 70%. Okay. So that's my percent abundance. All I did was count. Okay. So to calculate the average atomic mass, all I have to do is put the mass of isotope 1, which in this case is 63. Oh my gosh. Copper 63 times the percentage of how often it occurs, so 70%. Okay. Now, this plus sign, please make sure that you use the plus sign, okay? Or else you are going to get a different number. Do not multiply all the way across, or else you're going to get a really weird answer and it's not going to be right and it'll be a problem. So, second isotope, same thing, 65 times 30%. Okay. Then I'm going to divide all of this by 100. Your percentages add up to 100, so you want to divide by 100. Now, if I had 3 isotopes, I would do the same thing, plus another mass of a different isotope times the percentage. If I had another isotope, I could just keep going. But here, you should get something like 63.6 AMU. Okay. Now, the good news is this number should make sense because, one, it's closer to 63, which is occurring 70% of the time. Like, that's how abundant it is in this sample. So, 70% of the time, you're going to come across copper 63. So it makes sense that our average is closer to 63. That's the way it should be. You can also check your answers by looking at the periodic table and saying, oh, okay, the average on the periodic table is like, I want to say 63.5 or somewhere around there. It's very close to what we just calculated, okay? So that is the advice that I would give you. I would look at your percentages, I would look at your answer and say, okay, so these all look very, very similar, okay? It's closer to 63, so you should be good to go there. Yay. Okay. So here, this would just be an example of a problem where, like, I'd give you the isotopes, right? I'd give you the percentage, and then this would just be the mass that you would use. So for this question, I have something like, I don't know, I gave the answer ahead of time. Whoopsies. Hold on. Let me go back. Hello? Okay. Well, you can see, I'll just walk you through it because I don't know what's going on. So here is the mass of one of the isotopes of chlorine that I have. So 35 is the mass of your first isotope. The percentage of how often it occurs, the abundance of it, is 75.77. So I multiply those. Remember, this is a plus sign. Okay? That's going to be important when you go to put in the math. If you multiply all the way across, you're going to get the wrong answer. For the second part, I have chlorine 37. So here's the mass. here is the percent abundance, how often it occurs, divided by 100. And if you put all this in your calculator, you should get around 35.48 atomic mass units, AMU. Okay? So that is how you're going to get the average atomic mass. And again, this is very close to the number on the periodic table that you see, okay, that red number. And this is closer to 35, which should make sense because it occurs 75.77% of the time. That is its abundance in nature. So your final answer should be closer to the more common isotope. Okay? Now the last couple of slides, I believe, are just more practice problems. Yeah. So here's one that would give you 3 isotopes. Again, you would do the exact same formula. You would just add an additional isotope, and that's exactly what they did. So oxygen 16 occurs 99.76% of the time, plus oxygen 17 occurs only 0.04% of the time, and then oxygen 18 occurs 0.20% of the time, divided by 100 gives me 16 AMU. That should make sense because this is pretty friggin' close to 100% of the time. Oxygen's going to weigh 16, right? So this number makes perfect sense. If you compare it to the periodic table, some of them do round to 16, other ones are 15.99994. So that would be considered close enough. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know. But after watching this, try the practice and see how it goes. I will go over a couple of the problems tomorrow. Thank you. Goodbye.